Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and today, I want to take you on a journey through my life that's been filled with trials, triumphs, and invaluable lessons. It's a story of resilience, hope, and unwavering determination. But more importantly, it's a story of transformation, of how challenges became stepping stones, and how dreams, no matter how distant, became attainable. Before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like the odds were stacked so high against you that giving up seemed easier than moving forward? I've been there. I know what it feels like to be at the edge, wondering if there's any light beyond the darkness. But I'm here to tell you that there is. Through every obstacle, I've discovered that hope, combined with relentless effort and the support of those who care, can ignite a spark strong enough to light the path forward. Today, as I share my story, I want you to know that it isn't just about me. It's about you, about everyone who has ever faced adversity and dared to dream of something better. My story begins in a small, unassuming town in America, where the simplicity of life often masked the struggles hidden beneath. But as you'll see, it's not where you start that defines you. It's how you choose to rise above, how you turn pain into purpose and dreams into reality. So sit back, relax, and let's begin this journey together. I hope it inspires you just as living it has shaped me into the person I am today. I grew up in a small, unassuming town in America, a place where rolling hills stretched endlessly under expansive skies. On the surface, it seemed idyllic, but for my family, life was anything but easy. We lived in a modest house on the outskirts of town, a house that, despite its imperfections, held all the love and resilience my parents could muster. My father, a man of unyielding determination, worked tirelessly as a janitor in a distant office building. Each morning, long before the first rays of sunlight pierced the horizon, he would leave the house, returning only after the stars had claimed the sky. His hands bore the marks of hard work, his posture the weight of unspoken sacrifices, yet he never complained. My mother, equally steadfast, dedicated herself to caring for me and my younger sister. She turned the little we had into a semblance of warmth and stability. With a quiet strength, she managed the household, washing clothes by hand in a rusted bucket, preparing simple meals, and helping me with homework at the rickety kitchen table. She had an uncanny ability to mask the gravity of our struggles, often reassuring us with a soft smile and the words, "As long as we have each other, we'll be okay." But even as a child, I could see the weariness in her eyes and the silent worry etched into her face. From an early age, I came to understand the weight of scarcity. Our home, though filled with love, was marked by its limitations. Thin walls did little to shield us from winter's bitter cold, and during the rainy season, the roof leaked in several places, forcing us to arrange mismatched buckets around the room to catch the water. My clothes were hand-me-downs, often worn and patched, while my sister's crayons were little more than stubs salvaged from discarded sets. Yet, my parents' unwavering resolve made even these circumstances feel temporary, as though better days were not just a hope but a promise. Looking back, those early years taught me not just about hardship but about resilience. My parents were living testaments to perseverance, and their sacrifices became the foundation of my own determination. The lessons I learned from watching them would carry me through the many challenges that lay ahead. Little did I know, those small moments, my father's exhausted smile as he walked through the door, my mother's hands tirelessly scrubbing laundry, would become the fuel for a dream that would one day transform our lives. From an early age, I learned that life could be unrelenting in its challenges. Money was a constant source of worry, and each day felt like a climb up a steep hill with no end in sight. Our home was a testament to resilience, though its condition often reflected our struggles. The thin walls barely shielded us from the bitter cold of winter, allowing icy drafts to seep into every corner. During rainstorms, the relentless patter of water leaking through the roof became a grim reminder of our circumstances, as mismatched buckets dotted the floors to catch the dripping water. The house carried an air of wear and tear that matched our lives. My clothes, almost always hand-me-downs, bore the evidence of years of use: frayed seams, faded colors, and hastily patched holes. They were too small more often than not, but replacing them was a luxury we couldn't afford. I remember mornings where I'd sit on the edge of my bed, tugging on shoes that pinched my toes, knowing there were no alternatives. These material hardships were difficult, but they weren't what defined my childhood. What shaped me more profoundly was the quiet, persistent strength of my parents. They carried the weight of these struggles with a dignity that spoke volumes. My father's hands, rough and calloused from years of hard labor, were the embodiment of sacrifice. He never spoke of the long hours he toiled as a janitor, leaving before dawn and returning late at night, but his exhausted smile when he walked through the door was enough to tell me everything. My mother was no less remarkable. Her days were spent creating order out of scarcity. Whether it was scrubbing clothes in an old, rusted bucket or piecing together simple but hearty meals, she made sure that our house felt like a home. Her hands, though weathered by endless work, were always gentle when they guided me through homework or brushed the hair from my forehead after a long day. She had an uncanny ability to transform even the bleakest situations into something manageable, always assuring us with her steady refrain, "As long as we have each other, we'll make it through." Looking back, I see now that these moments weren't just struggles, they were lessons. Lessons about perseverance, sacrifice, and hope. Every drafty winter night, every patch on my clothes, every drip from the ceiling was a thread in the tapestry of resilience my parents wove for us. Those early years taught me that life's hardships, while unyielding, could be met with a determination that refused to falter. Little did I know then, those lessons would become the foundation for everything I would later achieve. At school, things weren't any easier. My torn backpack and worn-out shoes became a source of ridicule. I remember one boy shouting, "Look at his shoes. They've got holes in them." The laughter that followed stung deeply, but I swallowed my pride and stayed silent. I didn't want to fight, I just wanted to survive. Despite the hardships, I harbored a dream. I wanted to lift my family out of poverty and give them the life they deserved. I didn't know how I'd do it, but I promised myself I would find a way. One day my teacher, Mr. Sanders, noticed me lingering in the classroom long after everyone else had left. I was sitting at my desk, staring blankly at my notebook, my thoughts weighed down by the constant worry of my family's struggles. It must have been written all over my face, the tension in my shoulders, the downward tilt of my gaze, the heaviness that even silence could not conceal. Mr. Sanders approached quietly, pulling up a chair and sitting beside me, his presence both unexpected and comforting. "Alex," he said softly, his voice carrying a warmth that immediately put me at ease, "I've noticed you've been a bit distant lately. Is everything okay?" His words were gentle but probing, as though he could see straight into the storm I was trying to hide. I hesitated, unsure how to respond. Admitting the truth felt like opening a door I wasn't ready to walk through. Yet, there was something in his expression, a quiet understanding, a genuine care that made me feel safe. Before I could stop myself, I muttered, "It's just, things at home are hard." He nodded slowly, as if he understood without needing further explanation. "Life can be hard, Alex," he said after a moment, his tone steady and reassuring. "But you're not alone. Remember, even when things feel overwhelming, there are people who care about you. If you ever need to talk, I'm here." Those words stayed with me. They weren't just empty reassurances. They felt like a lifeline, a small but powerful reminder that even in my darkest moments, someone was willing to listen. It was the first time in a long while that I felt seen, not as a quiet boy with worn shoes and a troubled gaze, but as a person with struggles that mattered. That brief exchange, though simple, planted a seed of hope in me, one that would grow and carry me through the challenges ahead. A few days later, Mr. Sanders approached me with an offer that I could never have anticipated. "Alex," he began, his tone kind and measured, "I could use some help keeping the classroom tidy after school. If you're interested, I can pay you a little each week for your time." At first, I was stunned. The idea of earning even a small amount of money felt like a lifeline, a chance to contribute to my family in a meaningful way. My heart leapt with gratitude, and I quickly agreed. "Yes, sir. I'd love to help." The smile on his face showed me that he believed in my potential, and in that moment, I felt seen and valued in a way I hadn't before. From that day forward, I stayed after school, broom in hand, diligently sweeping the floors, wiping down desks, and straightening chairs. It wasn't glamorous work, but to me, it was a symbol of hope. Every task I completed carried a sense of purpose. Every dollar I earned became a seed for the future I was beginning to envision. The small weekly payment was more than just money. It was an affirmation that my efforts mattered, that even in small steps, I could make a difference. As I worked, I found a quiet solace in the classroom's stillness. The once intimidating space, filled with the echoes of daily lessons and bustling students, became a haven where I could reflect on my dreams and the steps needed to achieve them. I thought of my family, my father's weary but determined face after long days of work, my mother's enduring smile despite her struggles, and my sister's innocent laughter that made even the hardest days bearable. Each dollar I saved brought me closer to the vision of buying my mother a washing machine, getting my sister new art supplies, and giving my father the rest he so deserved. Mr. Sanders often stayed a while as I worked, grading papers or preparing lessons. Occasionally, he'd offer words of encouragement that stuck with me. "Hard work pays off, Alex," or "You're doing great things here." Those simple affirmations fueled my determination. I didn't just want to earn money. I wanted to prove to myself and my family that our circumstances, no matter how difficult, could be changed through persistence and effort. Little by little, those afternoons after school became more than just a job. They became a foundation for the values I would carry with me for the rest of my life, values of diligence, gratitude, and the power of small beginnings. Saving each dollar became a personal triumph, a tangible reminder that I was taking control of my future, one sweeping motion at a time. As I worked, my dream grew stronger. I wanted to finish school, go to college, and secure a job that would provide for my family. I envisioned buying my mother a washing machine so she wouldn't have to scrub clothes by hand, getting my sister new crayons and drawing paper, and giving my father a well-deserved rest. However, life had other challenges in store, ones that would test my resolve in ways I could scarcely imagine. One morning, I awoke to the sound of hushed voices drifting from the kitchen. Still groggy, I sat up, straining to hear the urgency that seemed to hang heavy in the air. It was my parents, and their tone was unmistakably worried. My father's voice, usually calm and measured, carried an edge of despair I had rarely heard. "We don't have enough money to pay the rent this month," he said, his words slow and deliberate, as though speaking them aloud made the reality even harder to bear. A pause followed, filled only by the soft clinking of dishes and my mother's long, weary sigh. "I've tried saving where I can," she replied, her voice breaking slightly, "but it's just not enough. Everything is so expensive these days. What are we going to do?" Their conversation struck me like a blow. Though I had always been aware of our financial struggles, hearing the raw truth of it in their voices was something else entirely. My father, the man who carried the weight of the world on his shoulders with quiet dignity, sounded defeated. And my mother's sigh, it was the sound of exhaustion, of someone who had given everything they had but still found it wasn't enough. It cut through me like a knife, leaving an ache I couldn't shake. I lay there for a moment, frozen by the weight of what I had just heard. For the first time, I truly grasped the precariousness of our situation. This wasn't just about patching old clothes or catching leaks in the roof. This was about the very roof over our heads. The fear of losing our home loomed large in my mind, and with it came a growing sense of urgency, a realization that I needed to do something, anything, to help. That morning, as I quietly left for school, I resolved to take action. I knew I couldn't solve everything, I was just a kid, after all, but I also knew that every little bit mattered. The determination that sparked in me that day would set the course for the steps I would take to support my family, even in the smallest of ways. That day, I resolved to do more. Using the small savings I had, I bought snacks to sell at school. At first, I was nervous, unsure if anyone would buy from me. But slowly, my classmates began to support me, some out of kindness and others because they admired my determination. Every dollar I made went toward helping my family. When I handed my parents the money I had earned, their reaction was overwhelming. My mother hugged me tightly, tears streaming down her face. My father looked at me with pride I had never seen before. "You're a blessing to our family," he said. In that moment, I knew I was making a difference. As time went on, I continued to work hard at school, selling snacks and helping Mr. Sanders. My efforts didn't go unnoticed. One day, during a school assembly, the principal announced a writing contest. The winner would receive a scholarship to a prestigious summer program. I saw this as my chance. I poured my heart into my essay, letting every word carry the weight of my dreams and the hardships that had shaped me. Each sentence was a reflection of my struggles, my resilience, and the deep yearning to carve a better future for my family. I stayed up late into the night, writing and rewriting, determined to make my story as compelling and authentic as possible. My hands ached from holding the pen, but I couldn't stop. This was my chance to show the world, and myself, what I was capable of. As I finished the final draft, I felt a swirl of emotions. Hope clashed with doubt as I reread my words, wondering if they were enough. Did they capture the essence of my journey? Would the judges see the determination that burned within me? I submitted my essay with a trembling hand, feeling both proud and terrified. This wasn't just a contest. It was a shot at opening doors I had never dared dream about. Days passed, each one stretching endlessly. The anticipation gnawed at me, but I tried to focus on my daily responsibilities, using them as a distraction. Then one afternoon, I was called into the principal's office. My heart pounded as I walked down the hallway, my mind racing with possibilities. Had I done something wrong? Or was this the moment I had been waiting for? When I entered the room, the principal's smile immediately put me at ease. "Congratulations, Alex," he said, his voice warm and sincere. "You've won the contest." For a moment, I was speechless. The words hung in the air, almost surreal. Then, a wave of relief and joy washed over me. I had done it. All the late nights, the second-guessing, and the vulnerability of sharing my story had paid off. I felt a spark of validation that ignited a fire within me, proof that hard work and perseverance could lead to something extraordinary. Winning the contest wasn't just about the scholarship or the recognition. It was a turning point, a moment that reaffirmed my belief in the power of dreams and determination. It gave me hope that no matter how difficult life seemed, there were opportunities waiting for those brave enough to reach for them. The scholarship opened doors I never imagined possible. At the summer program, I learned new skills and met students who shared my aspirations. For the first time, I felt like I belonged. But life, as always, had more challenges ahead. One evening, I came home to find my parents distraught. My father's workplace had closed down, leaving him without a job. The news hit us hard, but I refused to let despair take hold. I took on odd jobs around the neighborhood, fixing things and tutoring younger kids. Word spread, and soon I had enough work to help keep us afloat. Amid these struggles, I found solace in the friendships I had built. One of my closest friends, Sam, shared a similar story of hardship. Together, we encouraged each other to keep going. We even joined a community program that taught job skills and teamwork. Our group decided to clean up a local park, transforming it into a vibrant space for families. Despite setbacks like a sudden storm that ruined our progress, we persevered. The experience taught me the power of resilience and the strength of community. As I grew older, I found myself stepping into a world of greater responsibilities, each task adding to my sense of purpose. My first significant milestone was landing a part-time job at a grocery store. At first, it seemed like just a way to earn some extra money, but it quickly became much more than that. The store became my training ground, a place where I began to understand the value of hard work, the importance of reliability, and the quiet satisfaction of contributing to something bigger than myself. Initially, my role was simple: stocking shelves, assisting customers, and learning the basic operations of the store. But I approached each task with diligence, treating every responsibility as an opportunity to learn. My manager, a perceptive and encouraging leader, noticed my dedication. "You've got potential, Alex," she told me one afternoon after a particularly busy shift. "Let's see what you can do with a bit more responsibility." That conversation marked the beginning of my growth within the store. I was entrusted with managing the stockroom, a task that required organization, efficiency, and attention to detail. I learned how to handle inventory, ensure the store was well stocked, and communicate effectively with suppliers. Each new responsibility challenged me, but it also taught me the importance of adaptability and problem-solving. It wasn't long before an idea took root in my mind. Seeing younger employees and local teens struggling to find direction reminded me of my own journey. What if I could help them the way Mr. Sanders had once helped me? I approached my manager with a proposal to start a mentorship program. We could teach young people the skills they need for their first jobs, I explained, and give them the confidence to succeed both here and beyond. To my delight, she supported the idea wholeheartedly. Together, we crafted a program that paired new hires with experienced staff, offering guidance on everything from resume writing to customer service skills. The mentorship program quickly became a success, not just for the participants, but for the store as a whole. It created a sense of community, a network of support where everyone's growth was interconnected. The program's impact was deeply fulfilling. Watching young people gain confidence and excel in their roles reminded me of my own journey and the small but meaningful steps that had brought me to where I was. I saw their smiles, their newfound sense of accomplishment, and I couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. In helping them, I was also honoring the support and lessons that others had once given me. Through these experiences, I not only grew as an employee but also as a person. I learned that leadership isn't about authority. It's about lifting others up and helping them see their own potential. The grocery store became more than just a workplace. It became a platform for change, a place where I could make a tangible difference in the lives of others. And in doing so, it reaffirmed my belief that even the smallest efforts can ripple outward, creating opportunities far beyond what I could have imagined. Through it all, my family remained my unwavering anchor, the heart of everything I did. My parents' pride in me was a light that guided my steps, even in my darkest moments. My father, whose tired smile spoke volumes of his silent sacrifices, would often place a hand on my shoulder and say, "You're doing great, son." Those words, simple yet profound, filled me with a sense of purpose and the belief that I could shoulder the weight of our struggles. My mother, with her enduring strength and endless optimism, was a constant source of encouragement. She would remind me, "Every effort you make brings us closer to better days." Her faith in me was unshakable, and it fueled my determination to work harder, to aim higher. No matter how little we had, she found a way to create moments of joy, whether it was a warm meal after a long day or her soft hums of a familiar lullaby that eased the burdens of life. And then there was my sister. Her laughter was the melody that brightened our home, a reminder of innocence and hope in a world that often felt heavy. Watching her draw with her worn crayons, her face lit up with pure happiness, gave me all the reason I needed to persevere. Her dreams, though unspoken, became part of my own. I wanted her to grow up in a world where she didn't have to worry about the things I did, where she could embrace her creativity without limits. Together, we faced every challenge as a unit, our bond growing stronger with each obstacle. When the roof leaked, we worked side by side to move buckets and mop up water. When money was tight, we pooled our efforts to stretch what little we had. These moments, though filled with difficulty, also held the seeds of resilience and love. We weren't just surviving, we were building something unbreakable. Looking back, I realize it was their belief in me that gave me the courage to dream, to push forward even when the odds seemed insurmountable. They were my reason, my strength, and my motivation to rise above every challenge. Through them, I learned that success isn't just about personal achievements, but about lifting others up and creating a better future together. Today, as I look back on my journey, I see not just the struggles but the lessons they taught me. I've learned that hope is a powerful force, and with determination, you can overcome even the toughest odds. My story is far from over, but I'm ready for whatever comes next. To everyone listening, I want you to remember this. Life will always present challenges, moments when the path ahead seems unclear or even impossible. But in those moments, I urge you to dig deep and hold on to the power of hope. Let every setback become a stepping stone, and let every obstacle teach you something about your strength. Believe in your capacity to grow, to persevere, and to rise. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, and don't hesitate to lean on them when the weight feels too heavy. Success isn't a solo journey. It's built on the shoulders of love, support, and the courage to keep moving forward. Your dreams are valid, no matter how distant they may seem. The path to achieving them might not be straight or easy, but it will be worth it. Take every step with purpose, knowing that even the smallest effort can spark something extraordinary. Thank you for walking with me through my journey. Let's continue to rise above, to inspire, and to create a world where resilience and hope lead the way. And that, my friends, is my story. Thank you for listening, and I hope it has touched your heart as much as living it has shaped mine.